Here is Chunuk Bair Hill, main objective of ANZAC. From beginning to evacuation, Allied always want to control this hill. Why? When you look down, you can see two parts from the Dardanelles. The right part, city Çanakkale, can be seen, and the left part is the turning part of the ship. From there, ships could only go one by one, distance 16 kilometers. When you climb top, you will see better the two parts. Also, when you climb top, please look down that side. You will see large Sivla Bay Plateau. As I told, Sivla means he is a landing, embarkation, disembarkation place. 6th and 7th of August charges was a failure, but 8th of August wasn't so. 8th of August evening, Allied bombarded this hill heavily, heavier than the other days. Nearly 4,700 big bomb shells sent to Chunuk Bair from battleships. While they bombing this hill so heavily, Turkish saw all the trenches, retreated on that side, hide themselves behind the hill's cliffs. As soon as bombardment finished, from that side, New Zealander soldiers, the Wellington Battalion, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel William Malone. Behind of them, 5th Loyal Lancashire British Regiment. From this side, there's a big hill, White House on the top. This is hill 971. From this hill, Indian Gurkha army troops, strong warriors. And near hill 971, there is one more small hill, route passing near it. This is hill Q. From hill Q, Australian soldiers together attacked and they took this hill. When Turk soldiers wanted to return their trenches back, they came across with this group. Another violent, another bloody fighting started. It lasted nearly 2 days, 48 hours. But during that time, no one sit here. It all passed with fighting. During that fighting, the most famous commander of New Zealand Army, William Malone, lost his life over the top, and one more New Zealander soldier got Victoria Cross. His name was Corporal Cyril Bassett. Under heavy Turkish fire, he communicated with the headquarters and got VC. He also joined Second World War as a lieutenant. He survived from 2 big wars. Very lucky man. 9th of August evening, ANZAC soldiers replaced by British soldiers, but they didn't support them well. That morning, 10th of August early morning, Turkish army started a big attack from Bigalı village. You can see white minaret in the village. This is one of the bases of Turkish army. And after this attack, Turkish army took the hill back. But during that attack, a small piece of shrapnel came near Atatürk's heart, but his pocket watch was there. That watch saved his life. He was other lucky man of the campaign. And after Chunuk Bair battle, Allies slowly started retreat, and 19th of December evening, evacuated from ANZAC with no loss of lives. During the final evacuation at ANZAC, all the piers covered with sacks to eliminate the troops' sounds of living. Elaborate devices, such as rifles, set them to fire to trick into Turks believe the idea that the area is still held by them. During the final evacuation at ANZAC, some ANZAC soldiers were really upset, some of them crying. Why? Because they lived here nearly 8.5 months. Especially you, the ladies. Why are you leaving your home to go other places? Sometimes you can be sad, because you are leaving your own bed, own things, own clothes in your home. They lived here 8.5 months. It became a home for them. Now they were living in their houses. Best mates, comrades, cobblers here. And now they weren't going back to home. They were going to France, to the Western Front, another violent, another bloody fighting waiting for them and their enemies, not again the Turks. To understand their feeling well, I want to share with you a poem written by ANZAC soldier in 1916 when he was in London. His name is Oliver Hook. The name of the poem is ANZAC. ANZAC, oh well, we are gone, we are out of it now. We have got something else to do. But we all look back from the transport deck to the land line far and blue. Shore and valley are faded, fading our cliff and hill. The land line we called ANZAC, and we'll call it ANZAC still. This last 6 months, I reckon, will be most of my life to me. Trains and shells and snipers and the morning light on the sea. Thirst in the broad midday, shouts and gasping cries. Big guns talk from the water and flies, 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 flies. And all of our travel wasted, all of it gone for nix. Still, we kept our end up, and some of the story sticks. 50 years from on in Sydney, they will talk of our first big fight. But seeing we had to clear, for we couldn't get on no more, I wish that instead of last night, it had been the night before. Yesterday, poor Jim stopped one. 3 of us buried Jim. I know a woman in Sydney that thought the world of him. She was his mother. I will tell her, broken with grief and pride. Mother was Jim's last wish, pa. That was all, and died. Brightest and bravest, and best of us all. None could help but to love him. And now he lies there under the hill with a wooden cross above him. That's where it gets me twisted. The rest of it I don't mind, but it don't seem right for me to be off and to leave old Jim behind. Jim just quietly sleeping, and hundreds and thousands more. Better there than in France, though with the Germany's dirty work. I reckon the Turk respects us, as we respect the Turk. Abdul is a good, clean fighter. We have fought him and we know. And we have left a letter behind us to tell him we found him so. Not just say precisely goodbye, but au revoir. Somewhere or other we will meet again before the end of the war. But I hope it will be in a wider place with a lot more room on the map. And the airmen over the fight that they'll see a bit of secret. Meanwhile, here is help to the Navy that took us there and away. Lord, they are miracle workers, and the fresh ones every day. Well, we are gone, we are out of it all. We have somewhere else to fight, and we strain our eyes from the transport deck, but ANZAC is out of sight. Valley and shore are vanished our cliff and hill, and we'll never go back to ANZAC. But I think that some of us will. Welcome. All the grads were finished in 1918, 11th of November at 11 AM. After all these wars, Turkey was winner. They defend the country very well, but Germany was loser. Turkey lost the war and signed lots of agreements with Allies. According to one of these, Allied captured Istanbul in 1918, Turkish army delivered their home, and Greece invaded west part of Turkey. 1 year later, 1919, Mustafa Kemal went to Anatolia region to collect Turkish army again for the independent war. When he went there, people easily believed him. Because during the Gallipoli campaign, almost everybody heard his name many times. He had really good reputation, people believed him, and he collected army and started independent war nearly 3 years against mainly Greece. In 1922, all the fighting were finished. In 1923, he established today's modern republic and became the first president of it. But now his job was very, very hard, because when you think about 100 people in Turkey, only 3 of them knew the ability how to write or how to read. Because during the 11 years long fighting siege, almost all the young nation lost their lives. Now small kids or old men. He had to change Turkish alphabets for easy learning, calculation system, clothes, short everything for modernization. 15 years period he was in charge. In 1938 he died because of cirrhosis when he was 57 years old. But even today he is still highly respected. Wherever you go, you can see his pictures, statues, words. His other famous word is peace at home, peace in the world. Mustafa Kemal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we finished the tour. Maybe 10 years, maybe 20, maybe you never come back to Gallipoli again. But when you go back to your countries, if you want to learn more about Gallipoli, you can send your questions to me. I can answer and mail you back. Or if you learn that one of your relatives who came forth and died here, please send me his name. I can find his grave no matter where he is. I can take some photos for you, mail you back, no charge, it's free. During the tour, during the day, I try to be helpful and informative to you, but if I had any mistake, first I apologize from your ancestors, then from my ancestors, then from you. I hope you all enjoyed the tour. Thank you for listening. I know many of you came to Turkey to see Gallipoli. You paid for this. I hope you found your expectation. Now I want to upload you. Thank you for choosing us. Okay, we are here for 15 and 20 minutes. You can see New Zealand Cemetery. Down there, the second headstone belongs to 70 years old young New Zealand soldier. 10th headstone belongs to a Gurkha soldier. On the last panel, you can see some Maori soldiers' names. Of course, there are some Aborigines, but we don't know how many because they were using Christian names. Enjoy your time.
Fotoğraf. Anlamadım.
Geç oğlum ya.
Anlamadım ben bunun dediğini. Hella Murat. Hadi gideceksin ben.
Tipsana bak, aynı inek gibi.
Okay.
Okay. Birazdan geçsin. Oraya gitmiyorsun.
Hadi yürüyelim mi yavaş yavaş hadi. Yaklaştır çok şey.
Allah!
Berkay yapmayın ama pis.
Anne firmayı çekmiyor.
Neyse diyor. Burası eğer alınırsa tamam mı Çanakkale'de herkes de öbür tarafta taarruz edeceklerini söylerken buradan tamam taarruz edecekler. O işte o şeyi değiştiren en önemli olaylardan biri.
Here is Chunuk Bair Hill, main objective of ANZAC. From beginning till evacuation, Allied always want to control this hill. Why? When you look down, you can see two parts from the Dardanelles. The right part, city Çanakkale, can be seen, and the left part is the turning part of the ship. From there, ships could only go one by one, distance 16 kilometers. When you climb top, you will see better the two parts. Also, when you climb top, please look down that side. You will see large Sivla Bay flat cliffs. As soon as bombardment finish, from that side, New Zealand soldiers, the Wellington Battalion, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel William Malone. Behind of them, 5th Loyal Lancashire British Regiment. From this side, there is a big hill, White House on the top. This is hill 971. From this hill, Indian Gurkha army troops, strong warriors. And near hill 971, there is one more small hill, route passing near it. This is hill Q. So, as I told Silo, means he is a landing, embarkation, disembarkation place. 6th and 7th of August charges was a failure, but 8th of August wasn't so. 8th of August evening, Allied bombarded this hill heavier than the other days. Nearly 4,700 big bomb shells sent to Chunuk Bair from battleships. While they bombing this hill so heavily, Turkish saw all the trenches, retreated on that side, hid themselves behind the hills, lost his life over the top, and one more New Zealander soldier got Victoria Cross. His name was Corporal Cyril Bassett. Under heavy Turkish fire, he communicated with the headquarters and got VC. He also joined Second World War as a lieutenant. He survived from 2 big wars. Very lucky man. 9th of August evening, ANZAC soldiers replaced by British soldiers, but they didn't support them well. That morning, 10th of August early morning, Turkish army started a big attack from Bigalı village. You can see white from Hill Q. Australian soldiers together attacked and they took this hill. When Turkish soldiers wanted to return their trenches back, they came across with this group. Another violence, another bloody fighting started. It lasted nearly 2 days, 48 hours. But during that time, no one sit here. It all passed with fighting. During that fighting, the most famous commander of New Zealand Army, William Malone,